You've heard it a million times. Creating connections with OnlyFans subscribers is extremely important when you're trying to build long-term customers. Connection with the creator is going to stay interesting longer than the content does. It can be pretty confusing trying to get chatters to do this, so I'll just try to keep it simple and only focus on the things that actually matter. The first impression is everything, right? This is where you're most likely to lose the subscriber, in that first interaction, because the landscape is so terrible. There are so many dog shit chatters that make it so obvious. People know about it, right? So they're going to make up their mind in about 2 minutes whether they want to keep talking to you or not, right? So you need to separate yourself from all these other dog shit accounts. And how do you do that? Well, send out a thought out personalized opener. Now, I have whole videos about this, but the moment they subscribe, you want to send them a message. You can have your little welcome message, that's fine, but you want to send them something that's clearly intended just for them. And really simply, you can do that by using their name, but use a play on their name, right? So it could be, even if they had a normal name like Peter, you go, oh, Peter, I hope you're not a nail technician. My nail technician's name is Peter, right? You can also reference the time. So if it is evening in Australia and the model's Australian, you can go, oh, it's evening here. What time is it for you? Like, you know, something like that. Just so it was clearly you sending it to them at that time. Simple, right? There's another thing you can do called humanizing, which is basically telling an ice-breaking story about your day the moment they subscribe, because no chatter is doing this. I'll tell you what chatters do. The person subscribes, hey, what brings you to my page? Or something like that. Like, what do you do for work? Like, how old are you? What are you into? Like, they just ask a million questions and they just don't, they seem like a robot. That's why so many people go like, oh, is this a bot? Am I talking to an actual person? Right? So tell a story about your day. The second they subscribe, go, oh, because you're here, I just want to vent. Like, I can't believe it. Today I was meant to drive my friend to the airport, but I slept in and I missed their flight. Anything that's just going to create a bit of a laugh, break the ice, and make you seem like a real human, right? Get creative with it. It works. Long messages. Don't just send short little dry messages with no grammar or punctuation or anything, right? Send long messages, send multiple messages at a time, use little emojis and stuff so it seems like you have personality, not like the hypersexual ones, like the little smirk face and the laughing face and the little sweat sort of laughy face and stuff like that, just to seem like as much as of a real person as you can. Humor is your best friend. Yes, it's hard to get chatters when they're not naturally funny people, if they're not naturally funny people, to be funny. But if you can find chatters who are naturally funny people that can bring that energy to the chats, it's going to do really, really well. All of this is just so you don't seem like another typical chatter. How are you? What do you do for work? Oh, now you want to see something? Like, it's just shit, right? Just separate yourself from that. First step, most important. And don't rush to sell them, but also don't stop them. So there's a fine line. You don't want to, the second they subscribe, go send them a teaser and go like, what do you think of this? Because then they're going to go, okay, well, she's literally just after the money. Try to have a bit of a conversation. Try to actually go through all of this and really make yourself seem likable. But obviously there are subscribers who just come on and they go like, oh, like show me something now. A lot of chatters have this idea that they'll go like, oh, I just want to get to know you better first. I'm shy. You're not fucking shy. Like, you have an OnlyFans. No one believes that anymore. Like, it used to work. When every account does that, it doesn't work anymore. So be the one that goes like, oh yeah, in a sec now I'll send you something. Like, you want to just, what I like to say is, just divert them once. Say something like, yeah, no, for sure, I will in a sec. Just like, let me get settled in the house or something like that, right? And then try to just ask them another question or say something else about yourself to have a bit more of a conversation. Then we want to start with a sequence. No matter what they say, ideally, we want to start with a sequence. Some subscribers don't like them and they're aware of what they are. So they'll go like, oh, can we just skip to the good bit? Like that kind of thing. But if you have the choice, start with a sequence because it feels like a personal experience with the creator that is going to become the foundation for the connection, right? If you just sell them like a sex tape for $80 and they never come back, sometimes you have to do that, but it's going to be a bit harder to build a connection from there. It can be done, but it's harder. So now you've made a first impression and it's time to lay down the foundations of the connection, right? And you do that with inside jokes and commonalities. This might sound complicated, but it's not, trust me. Really, just quickly, think about your friends, like your relationships, right? What do they boil down to? Like, obviously you like spending time with them, whatever, but when you really boil it down, it comes down to like a series of inside jokes that just kept going, a series of shared experiences that acted as the backbone of your friendship, right? So we want to mimic that as best we can. So, inside jokes. We want to establish these as soon as we possibly can, because it gives the illusion that they've known each other for longer than they have, the subscriber and the creator, right? So, for the inside jokes, you can use things like their hobbies, job, location, or even yours, right? You should be talking about yourself. Make a joke about yourself if you can. Whatever. So, nicknames, maybe if they went to the gym a lot, call them Muscle Man. If they, have a job as a chef, like call them Gordon Ramsay. I don't know, anything. It doesn't have to be that good, right? Just make it personalized to them. I'm sick, I apologize. Basically, you just want to think of something that it's going to become your thing, right? Also, that humanizing story I was telling you about, how you tell a little ice-breaking story, you can use that as your inside joke. You can say, when they first subscribed, say that you locked yourself out of the house as they subscribed, and then call them like your bad luck charm as a joke. Like I'm just spitting them out for you, right? Anything like that. Now, commonalities. Simply, it means things that you have in common with them. And there's a right way to do this and a wrong way to do this. So if they say they like basketball, you can go like, oh, I love basketball. Like, guys that play basketball are so hot. Like, basketball is my number one thing, right? Not that believable. They kind of know that you're going to tell them what they want to hear. So it doesn't seem very authentic. If you want it to seem more believable, you want to just act like you have similar experiences. So don't just say you like something. Say you have experience with something and tell a bit of a story or just make something up, right? For example, on that basketball example, you could go, oh, like I actually played basketball, a long time ago, but I literally dislocated my knee. So that was the end of my basketball career. Ha ha ha. Do you see how that's way more believable? Like, I didn't say that she wants to be in the WNBA because that would be fucking dumb, right? Like to just, oh, what a coincidence. We both love this thing. You could do that, but it's more believable if you just share an experience that seems like they've done the same thing. That's an actual commonality, right? So the point is, back it up with an experience. Whatever they say they like, if they like fucking Lego, oh my God, I literally have a Lego set in my house that I haven't built. Maybe I'll do it now. You reminded me, right? Random example, but you get the idea, right? And yeah, just don't be over the top. Don't just glaze everything they like because you think it'll seem like you're into the same stuff. It won't. Back it up with an experience. I hope that makes sense. They love the beach. Oh, I was literally at the beach on the weekend. I got so sunburned. Right? Experience based. Record everything. Whenever you make an inside joke, record it. You should have a section in your notes titled Inside Jokes. Commonalities. Record it. If you say, like I said, oh, I dislocated my knee playing basketball to make up a commonality, put it in the notes, because then the next chatter is going to be able to follow on with it. Otherwise, it's all going to go wrong, right? Or you're going to forget about it. So record everything. And the key thing is to keep bringing this up. So you've got these pillars of your relationship and you want to keep bringing them up every single day, wherever you can, to establish that like there is something like there. Do you know what I'm saying? You want to just keep bringing it up. If you have a little nickname, keep using it every time you greet them, right? If there's a commonality, they like basketball. Oh, now I've actually started playing basketball again because of you. Like, oh my God, you see what I mean? And keep that connection alive like that. Really quickly, if you're enjoying this video, please consider leaving it a like. I just try to give you guys simple, practical advice. So when you like it, it makes it all worth it. I drop videos like this every single week. So if they help you, consider subscribing. Thank you. So now you've laid down the foundations for the connection, but now you've got to maintain it over their lifetime on the account. First thing you can do is give personal daily greetings. It's trivial, but it works. Every single day, send subs, like, have an amazing day. Like, if you know what they're doing that day, even better. Like, I hope everything goes well at the specialist, or I hope you sort that thing out at work that you were worried about, right? It takes a bit of time, but it's very worth it. It's way better than just sending out a mass message, have a great day. They know it's a mass message. They're not stupid, right? So really important. Ask questions based on what they've told you. So when you're talking to them, right, and this is just common sense, try not to just ask mindless, stupid, the same repetitive questions. You know, how are you? What was the highlight of your day? That's great. Like, blah, blah, blah. You know, you don't want to do that. Like, actually dive into things. Like, if they tell you about something, question it specifically. Oh, they go, something, you know, I have to take my car to the mechanic. Something went wrong with it. Don't just go, oh, that's so bad. Like, actually go, oh, what's wrong with it? Like, I know a little bit about cars. Like, mate, you know, act like you can be helpful. If they're having an argument with someone at work and they're telling you about it, try to offer practical advice. Just try, right? Try to seem like you give a fuck. Because if you don't, they'll know, right? They'll know. Learn to like them, right? If you can somehow, like, as weird as a lot of them are, if you can actually learn to talk to them about some stuff and have proper conversations like you care, and, you know, not everyone is going to be able to do this or have the, you know, diligence to do this. But if you can just convince yourself that these are kind of your friends, then you'll just get along with them and they'll just like you, right? Because I'm sure you have no problem talking to your friends on Instagram, sending reels to each other all day. Just do that, but with them. Like, it sounds so obvious, but it's true, right? Don't think there's this disconnect. Just talk to them like you're talking to them, right? It kind of, maybe that doesn't make sense, but it's very important, right? Use your interests. So back to my basketball example. Let's say you're a chatter, right? And you like basketball and you're chatting on a model's account. There's no reason why she would like basketball. Maybe she does, whatever. But it doesn't really matter. Like, if you like basketball, just talk to this sub about it, right? Because you can have an actual conversation and that's going to build the connection, because you're genuinely into basketball and they're genuinely into basketball. Cool, fantastic, right? Like, if you're into anime, talk to them about that. Just anything that makes you seem like a human and allows you to have proper conversations, do it, right? And last one, controversial, you do not need GFE. You don't need to convince subs that you're in a relationship with them. I don't know why so many people are adamant about doing this. Yes, it works at first. It gets so ugly so quickly. They want meetups. They want to go on other platforms. They want your phone number. They don't want to pay for content anymore. Like, oh, like, I'll fly to your city and we'll go out for dinner. Why put yourself in the situation where you now have to say no? Why don't you just act like you're just friends, right? Friends with benefits. Yes, some subs will do that anyway because they're sad and they're whatever. And don't reject it. I'm just saying don't pursue it with everyone. Don't make that the end goal. It's fine to go along with it and it just goes how it goes. You have to navigate it. That's your job. But like, you don't need to start saying to all these guys like, oh, I'm not talking to any other subs now except you. It's only you. Like, I hope you're not talking to any other girls. Like, why? Now, obviously we're here to make money, but when you are selling, you need to be mindful of a few things to preserve that connection, because ultimately you just don't want them to think you're only using them for money, right? So this is how you do that. Tone is everything when you're selling, right? If chatters are having like a bad shift, and that means they'll try people, and if it doesn't work, they'll just become bitter and leave them on red and okay then, like shit like that, it's gonna just fuck it all up, right? It'll just fuck it all up. I hate that. I hate seeing that. Friendly, friendly, friendly. I don't care how annoying someone is. I don't care if they never buy. I don't care how shit your shift was, right? You always stay friendly, right? Always stay friendly. There is never a situation where you, like taking the conversation to a negative place is going to help you make money. Just doesn't, right? All you need to sell content, right, frequently is a good why. What do I mean by that? So obviously they're going to think that you're using them for money if you're just talking about your day and then all of a sudden you go, by the way, I just took 20 nudes. Do you want them for $35 or whatever it is, right? And they're just like, huh, that's out of nowhere. So you just wanted to make money this whole time, right? Alternatively, if you were talking to them, and this is all part of transitioning, right? And I have an entire video on that. It's a really important thing that you need to learn. So I would watch that. But when you're transitioning, trying to sell like a single pay-per-view, what I like to say is you want to start talking about something relevant to the pay-per-view. So you make a plan in advance. Like let's say you want to sell a shower video. You start talking about shower something like, oh, I need to have a shower, but I can't be bothered, blah, blah, blah. Steer the conversation in that direction, start talking about it, and then you basically want to send the pay-per-view going, that reminds me, like the other day, just then, whatever, I took this video, blah, 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 and I just thought, you might want to see it. Completely up to you though. That's the tone that works the best long-term. Like that, completely up to you. Like if you want to see it, it's there. Because then you just seem like you're giving them the option rather than like, I took this just for you, like, you're going to love it so much, like I really want you to see it, and if they don't buy it, you're like, oh, but I made it for you, like, all that shit, right? That's when they know that you're just using them for money. So if you can have a good reason for sending them the content that is contextual with the conversation, and you have to develop that yourself, like you have to steer the conversation in a certain way yourself, that's how you do it. Now, if you're selling a sequence, which is probably the most common thing you're going to be selling, the why of that is that that's what the creator is doing right now, supposedly. That's your why, right? Because obviously you would share what you're doing right now. I hope that makes sense. Like if she's doing this now, it's like, oh, I thought I'd show you what I'm doing now. You can still be like, no pressure, but that's your why for sending it, right? Don't pressure or use negativity when objection handling. If someone makes it difficult, ask for a discount, whatever. I'm not saying you have to give them a discount or anything, but don't go all dry and bitter, because then what does that tell them? Like you could argue, oh, well, no, but that means that they're going to try to keep me happy by just buying. They won't, because they, at a certain point, will go, you're just using me for the money. Some people are fine with that, most aren't, right? So don't do that. You want to have that tone of like it's completely okay. You can, if you're smart, you can still objection handle while keeping it positive. Offer value before lowering cost, right? If they don't want to buy something, offer them more for the same price or make it a little game or whatever so that they buy it rather than just discounting it or trying to guilt trip them, right? There are ways to do it, but I won't go into that in this video. You want to be giving subs, especially those with like a stronger connection, occasional free content, just as a bit of a thank you. See, it's all about this common theme of making them not think that we're just there for the money. Like we have a really big whale on one of our accounts who's spent like over 70K, right? And they're having some money troubles at the moment. And we have a script and we just send them the script for free. Right? Like we scripted them entirely for free. You could go like, oh, well, you could have sold it for so much. Yeah, they've spent 70K. So if I can cement that relationship, like fucking hell, they deserve it, if anything. But like, it's going to make them like you more. And that's what we're trying to do, right? And very important, aftercare. After you sell people, if you just vanish on them, no matter how friendly you were or whatever, if you just vanish once they've stopped buying, or once they're finished or whatever, then they're going to also go, oh, so you're only here to make money, right? After they buy, keep the tone the same, keep the effort the same, have another conversation, whatever. Yes, you can focus on the other people that you're selling now, but do not forget about this person, or you're not going to be able to sell them many more times, believe me. There is nothing more frustrating when you go through all of this, building a connection with a sub and it's paying off, and then some chatter will come through and just fuck it all up, right? Like they'll say the wrong thing, or they'll pressure someone to buy content too much, or do something wrong and the person feels ripped off, whatever it is. So I made an entire video about damage control, about fixing these situations when they go wrong. So watch that, that's there. It's gonna stop these things going wrong or fix them when they do. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.